Tanner, can I ask you something kind of personal?
Sure, go for it.
So growing up, did your parents ever tell you when you did something well?
Yeah, pretty often actually. If I got a good grade or did well in sports, they make a big deal out of it. Why?
Because for a lot of us who grew up in Asian families, that wasn't really the norm. The message was more like you did well, but you could always do better. Or sometimes just silence, kind of like no news was good news.
Oh, really? Even when you did something great?
Yeah, especially then. There's this idea that praising kids too much will actually make them arrogant or lazy. So a lot of us grew up hearing, you did okay, but you could always improve. So a lot of us never really learned how to own our achievements. That inner voice, you are never quite good enough, follows so many of us into adulthood. And that's why you see so many high-achieving Asian students, even at top schools, are still struggling with, for example, perfectionism or anxiety, even if they are killing it.
Oh, wow, that's heavy. And I bet it carries into the workplace too.
Yeah, it does. When you've spent your whole life being told that talking about your wins is arrogant, then walking up into a Western workplace where you are expected to speak up for yourself feels super uncomfortable. You do great work, just hope someone will notice.
Sure, and sometimes they do, but a lot of the time they usually don't.
Yeah, exactly. Not because your manager doesn't care, maybe because they are just busy managing a bunch of people and can't see everything. Mm-hmm. So if you don't make your work visible, it may just get missed.
So how do you make it visible without sounding like you're bragging?
That's the tricky part. One thing that really helps is something called a brag document. Have you ever heard of it?
A brag document? That sounds so American.
Yeah, it is very American. Basically, it's a simple running record of your work and the impact it made.
So how does it work?
It's really very simple. You just keep a simple doc like Google Doc or Notion, whatever. Every week or two, you take 5 minutes to write down what you did and more importantly, what differences it made. But not simply I updated documentation, but something more like I created an FAQ, which means frequently asked questions. That 3 teammates actually used it this week and it saved the team about 2 hours of repeated questions, something like that.
Sure, so it's about the impact, not just listing tasks.
Yeah, exactly. Most people can list what they did, but very few can say clearly what changed because of their work. But that's actually the essential part that managers pay attention to.
And you use this during one-on-ones?
Yeah, before every one-on-one, I quickly scan it and pick 1 or 2 things to mention. It helps me show up prepared instead of trying to scramble everything on the spot.
What have you been working on this week?
I've been handling client emails, updated documentation, and helped with the tech team for a few things.
Okay, anything specific you want to highlight?
No, not really. I'm just staying busy, I guess. That didn't really go great.
Yeah, she was probably doing solid work, but her manager had no clue. Let's see a better way. So what have you been working on this week?
A couple of things worth mentioning. I noticed we kept getting these onboarding questions from clients. So I put together an FAQ and added to the knowledge base. 3 teammates this week actually used it, and I guess this should save us a decent amount of time. I also noticed a provisioning issue with the Henderson account and flagged it early to the tech before it denied anything.
Oh yeah, that FAQ was actually really helpful. And good catch on Henderson. I hadn't heard about that. Thanks for letting me know early.
Yeah, sure. No problem. I will keep you updated on this fix.
That felt so much better.
Yeah, see, same work, totally different outcomes. She focused on impact instead of just listing tasks. She tied everything to what the team actually cares about.
And she didn't dump 10 things on the manager.
Yeah.
Just 2 clear examples. That lands way stronger.
Quality over quantity. Two strong points with a real impact can always beat a long list of vague stuff, I guess.
So how should someone actually start a brag document?
Yeah, super simple, I guess. At the end of this week, write down two things in this format. I did X, which resulted in Y. Before everyone quickly review it and pick the most relevant ones. Over time, it becomes your personal record of performance reviews, promotions, or even switching jobs. Alright, that's it for these 2 episodes.
Wow, time flies. So what's the big takeaway?
Basically, good managing up comes down to 2 simple but powerful habits. First, when something goes wrong, don't wait until it becomes a crisis. Flag it early. Don't wait your manager to magically find out your good work. Make your work visible in a natural way, like keeping a simple brag document.
Flag early and brag document. I like how practical that is.
Yeah, and these aren't about playing politics or sucking up to your boss. They are about building a healthier, smoother working relationship, communicating clearly, solving problems faster, and making sure your contribution gets seen.
Makes total sense. It's just smart communication, right?
Yeah, and if you grew up being taught that talking about your achievement is arrogant, maybe unlearn that a little. Your work has a real value, and it's okay to help others to see that.
Right, yeah, that's such an important mindset shift.